Hi, Tina. Thank you so much for joining this podcast episode. Really appreciate it. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, the pleasure is mine. I'm super excited to have you in the show. I think we have did a pre-podcast call a few months back, and obviously we didn't have the chance to get together, and finally we have met. So that was last year, and this year is 2024 now. So it's like a quite a long time. So yeah, today we decided we're going to talk about learn more about your journey into business world, the ups and down, and how did you come up with an idea like being a coach and healer yourself. So without further ado, I'd love to know more about like when did you come up with the idea like you want to be coach or you want to help someone? Is it like through your journey? Like did you had the process of yourself healing?
Yes, so I am a massage therapist as well. I've been doing that for over 30 years. And so I've been in the industry for a long time. And quite honestly, I've been coaching my entire career. I just didn't, coaching wasn't something that was defined at the time, it was just advice.
Hmm.
And so I eventually realized that what I was advising and coaching on was of value. And so I then started doing online healing as well. So I've combined all of it. And that's where I'm at this stage, helping people to release and let go of traumatic, toxic relationships, whether it's a narcissist or just toxic. Because I also started right off of university in a very toxic job. And I didn't know it at the time, but now looking back, I'm thinking it probably had some narcissistic personality traits going on.
Yeah.
So it really all ties in. It's kind of amazing how that happens, right, Anu?
Yeah, definitely.
It's the stepping stones.
Yeah, so this is like a universe have like a better plan for us, isn't it? Like that way everything goes sometimes like you try something so hard and never happens, and sometimes like you don't even try it yourself and you end up in a different kind of world. Same thing happened with me, like
Yeah.
in a different kind of business. I was like running my own takeaway business with my brother. It's a family business. And I had no idea like I'm gonna be like running my online business and I've come to the tech world and everything else. It just happened like my one of
Hmm.
my friend, he started his business and keep knocking on my door like, hey, this thing you need to check out. Like this is a better way you can do make money. Like you don't have to trade all of them hours for like every single day that like how restaurant workers spend every single day
Yeah.
like about 14, 15 hours a day, long hours, long shift and stressful
Hmm.
work. So yeah,
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
didn't know about this kind of industry existed. I didn't know like you can make money from online. I know only way you can make
Right.
money is creating your own software like Bill Gates and you can be billionaire. But I had
Right.
no knowledge for that. So yeah, it's a different
Yeah.
journey. So when did you decide to make the shift like from massage therapist to like online coaching?
Yeah. So the online coaching has been for the last 8 years. I actually started in social media and wasn't gaining any traction. And it wasn't something that I loved to help other people with. So I thought, well,
Mm.
that's not working. So I took what I learned from that and then started applying it online and realized so I'm coming out of a narcissistic marriage of 22 years. And so I realized that I can help other people through the healing process. So on the other side of it, they're actually thriving, not just surviving, and they're not constantly in a pattern of mind chatter and not confident and staying stuck in the old patterns of the trauma still, because it's really interesting how gaslighting
Yeah.
is what they call when a narcissist basically is picking at you all the time and criticizing you and judging you, and you feel like you're going crazy. Well, I hadn't even heard the term until a friend of mine, we were having a conversation online, and she was saying, Tina, You might want to look up the term gaslighting because it sounds like that's what your husband's doing. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then she mentioned the term narcissist. I hadn't even heard these things.
Yeah.
And so I was really shocked. And then I'm like, oh, okay, we need to look into this a little bit. And I attempted to go into the energy of the narcissistic world, and it was still too raw. So I came away from it and I focused mostly on anxiety and overwhelm and stress. And then recently have shifted back because I'm in such a more solid place within myself that it's not going to affect me. It's not going to bring me down. It's not going to draw me back into the trauma, so
Yeah.
that I can stand very confidently and say, listen, you can be this, you can do this, it doesn't have to affect you for the rest of your life. Although we have interaction with people like that all the time, but we're not going to be triggered by them as much, which is really important, because most of us are triggered by everybody anyway at some
Yeah.
stage, right? And a lot of that is emotional intelligence. So we've got to learn how to be more stronger within ourselves, have more personal boundaries, have more personal power, so that they aren't affecting us, and when that happens, freedom,
Mm-hmm.
true freedom and peace, because now we can live, someone can interact with us and not be a nice person, and it doesn't have to mean anything.
It's true.
Because I don't know about you, Anu, but when I was not in a healthy state, someone would come up to me and say something, or online can be nasty to you, or they can criticize you or judge you or whatever. And then all of a sudden you take it personally, and it's like, wow, maybe they're right. And I don't understand. And why did they say that? And then it makes you doubt yourself, wears on your confidence. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, this one person, this one comment made such a difference in my life, and it didn't have to.
Yeah. Yeah, it used to happen not on online world, it used to be happen to real world. Like some close family members,
Yes.
close friends used to say things like that. And it's to affect really,
Mhm.
really on me. Then obviously I had to work on myself, on my mindset and things like that. But right now, when I have some kind of criticism from social media, because as you're gonna grow, you have like a few people, probably less than 1%, and these people can knock you
Yeah.
down. Right now, it doesn't bother me anymore because I came from like, my own people did that to me. So I was like, hey, yeah, these
Right.
people don't know me, right? They never seen me in real life. They
Right.
don't know like who am I? So obviously they can say whatever they want to say. They have all rights and let it be. Like if
Mhm.
I can make them a different view of myself, I do that. Otherwise, I'm not gonna take it to my heart. But I learned it from like a hardware. I learned it from my own people. I was never expected these people gonna do something like that. So that was like a hard lesson I learned, but it actually helped me for now. Right now, like as I grow my social media, right now I have combined all of
Yeah.
my from about 60, 70,000 followers, like my podcast, LinkedIn.
Wow.
Yeah. So sometimes I get some kind of negative
Mhm.
things, but it doesn't bother me anymore. And I don't care about like this following stay
Yeah.
with me or doesn't stay with me. I value them. They were staying
Mhm.
for sake of like staying with me. I don't want that. Like I'm not gonna be
Right.
tell you like you are wrong or you
Well,
are right, this kind of thing.
exactly. And I know that when someone triggers you, usually it's an opportunity for us to heal it.
Yeah.
It's showing us that we have healed it, or we're mirroring something within our energy field because that's why they're coming back at us, right? So,
Mm.
and we can be triggering for other people, because when we're in our personal power and we know who we are, and we're not affected by other people, we can then trigger others as well. So those kind of responses sometimes are almost normal, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Totally agree on that. So I know like we talked about like this kind of trigger. So you work as a mindset coach, you help other people and also their healing journey as well. So while you were building like your mindset, obviously you mentioned so many things like in your life. happened through that. So it's not always easy to come battle through that, right? Like a lot of people have give up their life, a lot of people go through the depression, a lot of people feel like they're
Mhm.
not worthy, they have the self-doubt, self-esteem
Right.
level. So what did you do for your mindset? Like, did you get help? Did you work on yourself? How did
Oh
all
yeah. Yeah, so I have been doing personal development for a lot of years. I've hired coaches through different phases of my life, business coaches, life coaches, and when my marriage was breaking up, I hired a young lady, and she helped me step into my personal power, and also taught me how to unravel the beliefs, because mindset is about beliefs, and beliefs are just
yeah.
habit of thought. And so we wanted to, I didn't want to believe anything he was saying to me, because it was misconstrued, and it wasn't through a healthy filter. So I had to heal a lot of that belief system, because I was believing that I wasn't good enough, and I wasn't worthy, and I wasn't deserving. I wasn't a good mom. I wasn't a good partner. I wasn't a good person. And the confidence got eaten away. I was stuck for a long time because I didn't know what I wanted to do or what I could do, because I didn't trust myself anymore. And when you trust is gone within yourself, that really has an effect on you in a big
Yeah.
way. And so I was just, honestly, it was about self love, self care, giving back, focusing on me instead of focusing on what wasn't working within our marriage and then our separation, and really getting to know myself again, or maybe even for the first time, because when I look back, I also had, there were some narcissistic traits within my family as well.
Mm.
So I think it's been a lifelong journey that's got me here. It's come full circle now, and now I'm in this space where I know who I am. It doesn't matter what you think. It's okay if you don't like me. It's okay if you think I trigger you. And at the end of the day, it's okay. I know what I'm doing, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's so true. Like when you figure out yourself, that makes it so much easier, right? Then you know like what kind of
Mhm.
people judgment and whatever is triggers you, and then you can work on yourself. Like like this is coming anyway, and you're like, hey, I'm not gonna let this in
Mhm.
go through me, right? So you coming through 1 year and getting out of the another one. But normally what we do, like coming through 1 year and we just
Exactly.
take it in, and where we just hold on to it. That's the main problem.
And then we internalize it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do
Yeah,
that.
we internalize it a lot.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah. It's important for us not to do that. Because from my experience now and my personal development, I realize that everything's an opportunity for us now.
yeah.
So I will assess what they say. I will look for truth. If the truth is not there, then I don't own it. I just let it go. It doesn't matter. It's their opinion. They have a right to it, and it doesn't have to affect me.
Yeah.
So I just really have been able to be solid in that, which is really a lovely space to be, because then you've got all this freedom to do whatever you want the way you want it, without having the restriction of worrying about what other people are going to think and how are they going to judge you, and having that imposter syndrome really work in the
Mm.
background. And I don't care at this point, quite honestly. I want to create content. I create it. I get guided what I want to put out there. And I just trust that it's going to help somebody somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the better way to live, isn't it? So, what would be like your number one lesson working on yourself you have learned, you say, last few decades, like you've been working in your business, you're working as a massage therapist, as well as like you worked on yourself.
Yeah.
What would be like your number one lesson you have learned over the years?
It's about me. It's about me. It's about my journey. The buck stops with me. It starts with me. It's always about me. So I'm constantly myself. How stories am I telling myself? And that goes need to be healed and unraveled. We have a tendency to think that people, places, and circumstances outside of us are actually the reason why things are happening, and it's happening to us. So we're in the victim state.
Yeah.
And now I see everything is happening for us. So always an opportunity. Oh, isn't that interesting? Get curious. Why am I feeling that way? What did they say that's triggering me? Why? Oh, okay. So maybe I need to heal that a little bit more. And then you just, again, let it go. It's not always as simplistic as that. Sometimes we need help through that process, as we all know, but it can be as simplistic as that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Thank you for sharing that. So yeah, we're nearly coming to end of this podcast. So before we leave, I'd love to know more about your advice with like if someone is lowest level in their life, like if they hit the rock bottom or like
Mm.
if they're not feeling to like keep carry on with their life or like do something incredible, like go pursue their dreams. So what will be like your number one advice for them?
So, what I've also come to realize is it's a moment in time. We are going to have lows, we're going to have highs. When talking to a lot of people who've gone through these experiences or they've been into this anxious, stressed out state, I'll ask them, how long has it been going on for? Now, some of it is a lifetime.
Mm,
So obviously those kinds of habits and beliefs are going to take a little bit longer, not necessarily, but it can. And then there's other people who say, oh, for the last 6 months. And so you've got to remember that it's a moment in time. It's just like the cycles of the moon, the cycles of the earth around the sun. The sky is dark and raining one day, and the next day or even the next hour it's sunny.
yeah,
So it's important for us to know that it's not permanent, and it can change. It can change, and it can change overnight. Most of us aren't in tune enough with ourselves for it to actually change overnight. So it is going to take some time, but we've got to be patient with ourselves. I have been guilty of this. I have, looking over my shoulder. Where is it?
mm,
Why is it not working already? why am I not where I want to be? We're really impatient, and that impatience is going to hold us back even more,
yeah,
because it's going to keep us in that lax state. So we want to stay in that good feeling state always, as much as we possibly can. When we have those low moments, then we just kind of have compassion with ourselves. We're gaslighting our own selves often. We're our own worst enemy at the best of times. So we've got to be kinder with ourselves and remember that everybody goes through stuff. It's part of our journey. There's a pathway, and the journey is sometimes on a high and sometimes on a low. And on those low moments, we've just got to pull back and go, okay, I'm having a bad day. I'm having a bad couple of months. It's okay. And I'm going to get through it. Don't squash your emotions. That's your biggest message for today. The emotions are your guidance system. If you squash them, put them on the rug, avoid them, they're going to come back to bite you.
yeah.
I promise you that. And it's going to show up either physically, mentally, or emotionally.
Mm, yeah. Thank you so much for that advice. I really, really appreciate it. So, Tina, before
Yeah.
we leave, if anyone wants to know more about yourself or your business, where's the best place to find you?
Yeah. So I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook is Tina Ann Hull, ANN and HULL. And my Instagram is I'm Tina A Hull. And both of those platforms are probably the best places to look for me.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing those. So, I wish you best of luck with your business, your personal life, and thank you so much for coming to the show today.
Thank you very much, Anil.
You're most welcome. That's a wrap, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast episode with Tina Hall. So I hope you enjoyed our conversation. If anyone wants to learn more about her, you can visit her social media platform, Facebook, Instagram. So until then, I'll talk to you in the next episode. Take care, everyone.